life. Because the second I saw it, I realized one thing. My entire life, I grew up knowing only one thing. If you want to become successful, make money, buy the house, and be able to take care of my mom and do anything else I wanted, I had to work my ass off. Pardon my language. I had to work my ass off. Meaning, you find one job. If that job wasn't enough, you find another job. If that job wasn't enough, you get another job. Because I had my uncles, my cousins, my mom working 2, 3 jobs. But I realized all those different jobs are working, but you don't have money. What's the point of having 3 jobs if you don't have money? What are you doing? So of course I'm not going to say that to my mom. She'll probably beat me. Jamaican, go imagine. So I said, you know what? When I searched for his information, it was actually from Enzi's father, Gustavo, because Enzi hadn't officially started business himself just yet. So I was actually a computer engineer at the time. I didn't even know. I just saw him as a successful man. So I said, I'll listen to this guy. He looks successful. So I started listening. And I came with an open mind. I said, I'm here to listen to the information. I wasn't expecting this. I didn't know it was a business opportunity. It was just, come to my house, Carlton. Listen to the project me and my dad are working on. Next you know, he started going in detail about dreams. He said, Carlton, really, what is something you really want to aspire to do in this life? I said, I'll find a good job and work and maybe get my dream home. You know, that as growing up in Jamaica, I always picture people in America having that picket white fence, a nice house, the dog and the wife and the 2 kids, 1 boy, 1 girl. That was my dream. I said, that's what I want. I said, Carlton, in order to achieve that dream, you think you'd be able to do that in the traditional sense that we were doing in the 90s, the 80s, the 20th century? Really finding a career and working for 30, 40 years of your life? So I don't want to work more than 5 years of my life. Listen, Carlton, you have to break out of that cycle. You can't keep repeating the same mistakes of the past and expect different results. I said, you want to live better than your mom, better than your dad, better than your stepdad? But how are you going to repeat their mistakes and expect anything different? So he said, Carlton, guess what? You got to start thinking in the 21st century. What does that mean, becoming your own boss? Becoming your own boss? My mom worked for a boss. Well, you can imagine 1,000 from my thoughts. That's crazy. I was like, how's that possible? Am I going to create a new, like, discover a new element or something? So he kept going further in detail. I said, Carlton, you need to break out a 9-to-5 mentality. As you guys can tell, I'm bad at technology too. Now, Gus started asking me a few simple questions. I said, Carlton, will you be retired by age 55? I looked at my uncle Lee Croft, was an accountant, said he's past 55 and he's not retired, so I know I wouldn't. So he said, are you prepared to face your future? You mean tomorrow? I wasn't even there. I said, Carlton, will your family's finances be secure in the next 10 years? I said, the way we're going, no. He asked me those questions, I really started to think. I said, my entire life I grew up thinking my grandmother was still relying on her kids to actually provide for her. So I said, am I going to end the same way if I keep repeating what they do? Yes. Most people are afraid to ask those questions. But literally, Gustavo said, Carlton, just imagine this for a brief moment. I want everyone here to close their eyes for just a brief second. Just imagine this. Where in the world do you want to be? What dreams do you have? As a kid member growing up in Jamaica, I always dreamed about the second I came to America, I would have the nice cars they have on every television show. I would have the nice wife, everything. I would have the dream house. So that's like, Carlton, if you had that perfect balance between time, money, and health, what would you do? What's the first thing you do? I said, Gus, I don't know. No one in my life has ever asked me that. My mom, my aunt, my uncles, my teachers, no one, everyone I look up to, no one's ever asked me that question. He asked me again, Carlton, think about it. That was my reaction again. He said, think about it for just a couple minutes. Take a minute, not seconds, but take a minute. I said, Carlton, just imagine this. You have consistent cash flow coming in every single month. You never have to work for a dead, dying day in your life. What would you do? I looked at him and I started smiling. I said, retire my mom. That's the first thing I did. Why? Before the houses, before the cars, before the women, any of that. What would you do? Retire my mom. Why is that? Not a satisfaction to say, oh, my mom retired, she's not working anymore. No, because my entire life growing up, I've seen her struggle. She's done so much for so little. She was willing to give everything she has for her sons. Said, who am I not to give back? That's where it came from, right here. The girl's soul, my heart. She's my number one till this day. I told my ex that, she got mad. But I started realizing that in order to achieve that, I started thinking different. I can't keep thinking, find another job. Okay, this job doesn't work out. I'm gonna get a part-time job. Like I have a full-time and a part-time. I actually remember when I was a student in college, I had a full-time job. Then I actually I was thinking about getting a part-time. Just thinking back, I sound crazy, don't I? You're a student, you work for 2 jobs. And living with my girlfriend, then became another part-time job on its own. And Gustavo, I remember he said, Carlton, consistently, you're too young to really understand what this means. Some of the guys in this room, you guys are too young to understand what it means to work 30 to 40 years of your lives. A lot of you guys here as well, sure. Now, statistics, the facts are this, Carlton. After you graduate college, 22, 23, 24, they expect to work 30 to 40 years of your life. The statistics prove that 1% are rich. 4% are financially independent. You never have to work for another dime in your life. Oh, sounds good. The next thing he told me, another 5% are still working. So I said, I'm going to be in my 60s and 70s and still working? Gustavo said, yes. That's the world we live in. He said 36% are dead. Like, so 36% of the people I know today will be dead in 40 years? Yes. Guess what? 54% are still working. Every single week, I hear my grandmother call my mom and she'd be asking for money. She would call her kids and she can't get in touch with one in Florida, she'll call one in New York. She can't get in touch with one in New York, she'll call the one in London. I was like, how do you live like that? I can't imagine. I have to do something different. Gustavo said, Carlton, which group do you want to be a part of? You want to be a part of that 1%, that 4%? I'm sure you don't want to be dead. What percentage do you want to be a part of? It's simple. Everyone here, I'm sure you choose. What percent will you choose? Which group? 4%? I think you need some sweet answer in the back there. It's part of that 4%. By yourself. Which group do you choose to be a part of? I gotta work on my Spanish, my Espanol. Or? See, well, typically when people just think about the idea of financial independence, they think it's impossible. I was listening to an interview recently today, where this guy started literally investing in the stocks because his parents were middle class. They gave him an opportunity between going to a particular school, the difference, about $10,000. So by the time he was about to graduate college, he had turned that $10,000 into $1 million. But most people, when they hear that term financial independence, they think it's impossible. Because guess what? They grew up knowing only one thing. In order to be successful, you have to work hard. What this guy did was he started working smart. It's possible. I mentioned Gustavo said, Carlton, now that you chose what percent you're going to be a part of, what are you going to do? Now, I'm sure all of us understand one thing. That we all like to buy. Everyone here likes to buy. Even people like to say like to buy. If anyone here had a chance to choose between a Honda and a Ferrari, which are they going to choose?
Ferrari.
The Ferrari, of course. If you have an opportunity to get the best, get the best. So why would you limit yourselves? You think the 9 to 5 is the best opportunity? Yet you see millions every single day, every single year, growing more. Investments, starting new businesses, creating new ideas. Why are you any different? Why? Because of the way you think, mentality. I'm sure we all know. I'm sure all of us buy what? Head and Shoulders, shampoo, conditioner, Colgate, Crest. Guess what? Gustavo said, Carlton, in the industry I'm a part of, you just keep doing what you're already doing, consuming, buying, stuff. You have your body, your shampoo, conditioner, you have your protein, and actually, there's actually a protein called Tiger XXX that I used to buy as well. It's Carlton, but guess what? You have a factory, but it gets the price it bumps up so much because of all the middlemen. By the time it gets to you, the consumer, they pay well over 100%, 1,000% sometimes. He said, Carlton, the industry I'm in is simple. It cuts all those middlemen. So instead of keeping 0%, you have the capability to make 64%. I was like, I can make something? I was like, tell me more, that's when you have everything. He said, Carlton, all we do is we simply cut out the middleman. So our product or service go directly from the factory to the consumer. What you're already doing, you continue to do. I was like, tell me more. Now, he started breaking down the benefits to me. He said, Carlton, instead of working 30 to 40 years of your life, having your life controlled by someone else, you start living like the people you idolize. I personally can tell you guys as a manager, working in a grocery store at a young age, it's not fun. When you have people looking up to you twice your age, even 3 times your age even younger than you, asking what to do next. You know I'm in a higher position than them. I'm looking at them saying, I looked at my mom as well because at this point, I'm making the same much she is in her job. So I said to myself, I don't need her for just a few years, but yet I'm able to make what she's making. I looked down on my mom, but I said one thing. I have to do things different. At that point, I realized working those 12 hours a day wasn't for me. I couldn't imagine myself doing this more than 5 years. I remember waking up at 6 o'clock in the morning. Actually, I have to be at work at 6. I was waking up about 4:30, 5 o'clock. You know, you rush when you're down, you don't really sleep. So I would rush to work. I would get there at 6 o'clock. I would sometimes leave the store at 3, 4 o'clock in the afternoon, and have to come back again at 8 o'clock at night. Why? To close the store. When you're young, they take advantage of you. But one of the things, they own me. I was salaried. Sometimes I had to work 6 times a week. Why? Because another manager got sick. Oh, there's inventory at the end of the week. Why? No one told me. Because at the end of the day, I still had a boss. The store manager, regional manager, CEO, COO, that tells you exactly what to do, when to do it. Literally, I can remember I didn't even take vacation one year. Why? Because I was only able to get sick 5 times a year. It was only 2 weeks vacation. And guess what? When I left the store, I would still be on my phone. I thought I was supposed to be sleeping, eating dinner or something, going out. But yeah, I'm being sick. I'm telling them exactly what to do, and these guys are twice my age. Gustavo said, Carlton, instead of working those 30, 40 years of your life doing something you don't want to, just for the money, no one here in this group can tell me that they expect to work 30 to 40 years of their life in something that they like. For money. It's purely for money. Why do you go to school, get a good education, try to get a good degree so we can make money? Gustavo said, Carlton, you're going to simply start doing what you're passionate about. Find value in that. I'm going to teach you how to become successful and do what you love. Now to start off, he said, instead of working those 30 to 40 years, we're going to shrink them down to 2 to 5 years. I just think you idolize. This is a process. It's like 2 to 5 years. Literally, you can be working 2 to 4 hours a day, 2 to 4 hours a week. As a kid in college, I said, I don't have time. I don't have money, but yet I had 2 jobs. I had all those excuses. But I realized I was coming to the point where after a year hearing about the opportunity, Ansley would contact me, Gustavo, Carlton, come to me, hey, what are you doing? Let's go. And my reply would be like, I'm busy. I could be playing video games. Carlton, come to a meeting. I'm with my mom, but I'm playing video games. I was able to come up with excuses for anything. I was a big BSer. So when I started this business, I was able to do what? Combat a lot of BS. So when someone had an excuse, I was able to do what? Confront that excuse. I'm a very blunt person, you guys will learn. Now Gustavo said, Carlton, who's one of the artists that you idolize? I said Eminem. But he said, no, we're going to use Michael Jackson. I was like, okay. Now Michael Jackson passed away in what, 2007, 2008? This man passed away bankrupt. Now overnight, he became a multi-millionaire. How is that possible? Why? Because when he passed away, That's literally around the time my older brother taught me how to moonwalk, by the way, too. So I know how to moonwalk now. That's one of the biggest things. He said he became a multi-millionaire all over again. I said, how? Because he had a fan base all around the world. And the new generation learned about him as well. Why? Because people started going crazy for his music again. Saying, oh, Michael's gone. I never heard of Michael. Oh my God. Look at this Thriller. Became a bestseller overnight. This man became a multi-millionaire overnight. But where did all that money go? He was dead. He was on the ground. It went to his family. That's the power of residual income. Breaking out that 9-to-5 mentality, that linear income, exchange your time for money. Remember, I don't know if anyone remembers, but I was just glued. Every word Gustavo was saying, like, keep going. He's basically talking about taking control of my life, leaving a legacy. As long as I am, I know for a fact one thing: I will never have to worry a day in my life about how my kids gonna end up. My kids gonna end up. Why? Because with this opportunity, I'm gonna create something. Even if I pass away right now, my mom will continue to receive. I'm creating a legacy. I'm not thinking about just Carlton. Just Carlton's mom. No, I'm thinking about my son, my daughter, in the future. I'm thinking about my entire family. Why? I'm young. I should be partying, right? Older brother, he's 27. All he does is party. He's a typical partier. He knows how to dance or everything. Do I go party with him? No. Why? Over 2 years ago now, I've been out of my mom's house. Literally, 3 years ago, I told her, Mom, I'm going to retire within the next 5 years. She looked at me and she laughed. She said, boy, you're crazy. I don't believe that's impossible. She said, that's impossible. You can't do that. At that point, I decided I wasn't going to prove her wrong. I was just going to do it just because truly I wanted. There's no grudge. I love my mom. That's what I'm going to do it. She even called people, family members, my aunts and uncles. I remember this too. So you know what this kid's talking about? Retiring me? Is he crazy? I remember this. That's just fuel for me for more. Gustavo said, Carlton, don't even listen to me. Start listening to experts. Listen to the people who have what you want. He threw a few names at me, like Robert Kiyosaki, Paul St. Pilsa, Charles W. King. I know who those people were, so I kind of did. Do they have what I want? I asked him, do they have what I want? He said, yes, they do. Why? Because Robert Kiyosaki is a multi-millionaire in the financial industry. This man has been a New York Times bestseller time and time again. In real estate, this man's a multi-millionaire, soon to be billionaire, the way he's going. Charles W. King, this is someone who wrote a book called New Professionals, teaching at Harvard. This is the kind of guy back in the 90s realized that 95 traditional way of marketing that he was teaching students, it wasn't working. Because guess what? When those students left his classes, graduating school, they couldn't find a job to pay for those classes that they took with him. So he realized what? His way wasn't working. One of his students came to him and said, listen, I found this opportunity in network marketing. That's the industry. He said, no, I don't want to hear about that. I don't want to hear about that. No, that doesn't work. That stuff doesn't work. But his student said, but you taught us entire classes, just 4 years, that we should never prejudge an opportunity. He kicked himself in the mouth. And he sat down and he did his research. He was trying to prove his students wrong. No, this isn't going to work. What he realized is he's completely wrong, completely false. Because this is one of the best models of the 21st century how to do business. Proven. Now, Gustavo said, Carlos, you ever find a company in an industry, never market it, that's going to transcend generations, in my own words. It's going to be, when I'm dead and gone, it'll still be around. That was the health market. The company is 4Life Research. It was started by David and Bianca Lisenby, a couple that have over 35 years of experience in network marketing. The current CEO is Stephen Till. Now, you can see there's many different acknowledgments. You guys can definitely look into Inc. 500, Nexera, Club 100 Million, see the credentials of the company. But what stood out to me personally wasn't even before Gustavo started speaking about money or what you can make out of opportunity. It's when he got to this slide. He said, Carlton, we have a patent exclusive discovery that no one else in the world has. No one else in the world can duplicate. So what in the world was that? He said that product is called Transfer Factor Plus. Said, I never heard of it. Can I get this at GMC? He said, no. CVS? Yeah, everything is CVS. Over the counter? Is it a drug? He said, okay, Carlton, wait, hold on. He said, it's 100% natural product What it is this. The science behind it is very simple. In 1949, in NYU, right here in New York, Dr. Shirley Lawrence discovered that when a mom gives birth to a child, within the first 24 to 48 hours after birth, she passes on this molecule to her child that has an index or registry of every illness and disease she's ever fought in her life, passes over to the child. She's able to extract that molecule and discover there's actually the host that goes into most of the immune system. But guess what? They didn't have the capability to actually do further research. So they got buried up. Antibiotics came about, people started really caring about their health, antioxidants started looking younger. It wasn't until actually in 95, 96, David rediscovered this, got a patent for it, and discovered that it was actually more potent and stronger than breast milk of cows and egg yolk of eggs. Now, this is something that's 100% natural. So guess what? You can't patent things that are all natural. So, but he patented method extraction. Started putting capsule form. They've done research on this. He featured in the PBR, the physician's desk reference. I like to call this the doctor's Bible. What it is? Very simple. Every single person in this room, if you've ever been to a doctor and they prescribe you anything over the counter with a CVS with a prescription, has to be in this book. Now, to get inside this book, you have to have over 3,000 studies done by the government. Other doctors say product doesn't work and does what it says it does. Transfer Factor Plus is in that book, in the back. My mentor Gustavo, I remember we actually looked it up. We purchased the book, the blue copy from last year. It's on page 2,212 in the back of the book. Stuck in my brain. They even did research in Spain and different countries around the world and found that Transfer Factor kills over 95% of cancer cells. I said, that's impossible. Dustin Carlton, I'm not here to convince you. Do your research. Tell you guys the same. Don't listen to me. You just met me. You don't know who I am. Do your research. You see for yourself. What really stood out to me when he started saying that they have exclusive products also. Another product that really caught my attention was a product called Glucoach. The Glucoach is for people who are diabetic. My grandmother in Jamaica, she's diabetic. She has to take insulin shots every day of her life. So I said, I want to hear more, Gustavo. Tell me, how do I get started in this business? Now, the person invited you can definitely tell you about the different ways to get started. You have going over the minimum in this business, how do you get started? Let me jump in further. How do I make money in this business? It's very simple. Gustavo said, Carlton, we're going to share this with 6 people. I said, Gus, I don't know 6 people. Why? Because at this point, I just left high school in New York to finish up senior year in another school in Connecticut. I know anyone. I knew my mom, my stepdad, my older brother, my younger brother, and Angie at the time, but I can't really count him. He's already in the business. But I said, Carlton, we have an education system going to teach you step by step how to meet these people, how to start growing this opportunity. So why? Someone who didn't know a lot of people said, I want to do this opportunity. The product, an exclusive product no one else had. He said it was an opportunity for me to follow that dream and retire my mom. I said, I want to know more. I want you to teach me. You know where you're going. Sure, this is 6 people. 6 people? You guys are probably confused by the numbers. We're breaking down very simple. In this business, is for a franchise fee to own in this business, there's a monthly rent of 100 LP, which is a universal currency the company created. The person inviting you here tonight will tell you more. Now, he said, Carlton, you just have to consume products that add up to that 100 LP every single month. I started noticing, I stopped going to CVS, buying Head and Shoulders, stopped buying Crest, because they never sent me a thank you note, a birthday card. So I said, I want to get some, I want to make money then. Because I started realizing that I'm going past that minimum 100. I'm doing Club 250. I started teaching people I'm going to do the same exact thing. Before you know it, 6 times 250, 1,500 life points. Right there, the company started paying you 4% residual income. It tells me $30 month after month after month after month up to your 3rd generation. And your kids' will continue to use that $30. But guess what? It'll start to continue to grow. It'll continue to grow. And it'll continue to grow. I ask you guys this question. If you go on top of a mountain, let's say Mount Everest, if you guys make it that far, and you grab a snowball, roll it up, nice, fat, nice snowball, hard, and you let that roll down the hill, what's going to happen? It's going to grow. Can you stop it? Even if you wanted, you could. This opportunity, I learned the same thing. Once you start this, once you're able to share this with others and capture the vision, you can't stop it. Even if I wanted to do it, if I try to stop people, think they listen to me? No, because they're not doing it for me. They have dreams, things that they aspire to become. But guess what? We have an education system, proven system that's worked in over 100 countries around the world. Personally, me and myself, when me and Enzi went to London in January, we had 0 contacts there. 0. But yet we left with a line of 3. Why? Because the system clearly works. Now, the education system uses a roadmap. I love to look at it as a GPS. Let's say you guys just want to go to the beach even. You turn the GPS on. I can't imagine back in the day, 30 years ago, when they had to use maps. I'll get lost every day. Now, education system is 9 simple steps that will teach you how this business is done. I was a shy kid. I didn't like speaking to people. I couldn't look people in their eyes. Can you imagine that today? Step by step is like a GPS. If a GPS tells you, take 3 rights, and continue straight for 5 miles, you reach your destination. But yet, you skip, it says go straight 5 miles. Will you ever reach your destination? No. You have a system that works, proven to work. Now guys, what I'm about to say right now is this: you have to learn to take control of your life, your future. No one else will. All you guys are here tonight is information. What most people say is that this is information from my neighbor. And guess what? They see the neighbor in 2 to 5 years, they're successful. And they say, guess what? They're the lucky ones. But guess what? You'll be seeing that your entire life. All your neighbors will be lucky. All your friends will be lucky. But guys, it's up to you, really. And I can say is welcome, and thank you for having me here tonight.